Well, today I'm going to build a sliding door to fit right here in this opening. Now there's several ways to do this. I'm just going to trim it out flush with these ribs, and then my door is just going to barely clear this. I'm having to build out this. This is actually an inch thick board. It's going to go a little past this rib, but I'm putting this on just to bring my track out to the outside of the ribs of metal. James. Yeah, you got your feet all muddy now. Boy. Stay in there. I probably wouldn't have put that metal on that end if I'd have known that's all too rusty and can't put it on that side. But I'm not taking it off, at least not now. Maybe never, I'd say, but there's a tiny chance in the future I'll switch that out to burnished slate as well. Alright, I'm using round track. You can use a square track, though I have never seen any problems with this round track. Like the square track, you can tend to have problems with it rolling because it's got metal rollers. But I've seen these doors being 10, 15 years old, and they still roll just fine. It's got plastic or nylon or whatever that stuff is, rollers, and it rolls good. And then these are the hangers. There's a key slot, and that little piece just sits in there. You got to use a hammer and tap it into place. Now this piece hanging down is for the track cover, but since I'm up under a roof, I don't need a track cover. So you can get these brackets that are cut off and don't have this piece, but they didn't have any of those available. So all these key slots are the same way, except for this one is opposite, I guess. That way the whole track can't slide off, which I don't see that ever happening, but... So my door is 12 feet, but to save money, I just got 20 feet of track. And so I just keep my track 2 feet from the end and keep my trolleys in from the end as well on the door.
Jamesy, this way. Or that way. What's the broom in here?
Bailey drug it out in the yard. I'm putting this up here so I can measure down to see how tall to make my door. Now this door, since I wasn't able to get it up higher, is going, well I could have, but I would have had to fill in blocks right here. There will be a gap on the top of my door, but That's fine. Then once you've got your door up here, you can see this crook right here. You can turn it to adjust your door in and out to adjust it right where you want it. So if you use weather stripping and you do everything on a barn right, you can actually have these doors pretty much as tight as a garage door, as long as you've got a grooval on the bottom that your door sits into. You'll never get it as tight, but you can get it really close. I know I just said it's fine, but I'm gonna go ahead and move this track up because I've got that much clearance, and then these, they're pretty close. I'd have to cut them off, and it'll look kind of tacky having a gap above my door. So I'm just gonna go ahead, put in spacers, just fill in some spacers right here, and move this up all the way against. I'm much happier with that. So this is what I ended up going with for my side rail. You'll see how it works in a minute. It's made out of aluminum, and it's the same type of stuff that would go on the bottom that would have the little wheel track that I was talking about. And it is nice having it on the bottom because it just keeps your door straight, because wood tends to warp some. But I'm only using this on the sides, and I'm using wood for the rest of it. So since it is aluminum, you can cut it with just a regular wood miter saw. But I'll be cutting it with my little bandsaw. My door height will be 6'2". My door opening is like 6'6". I just got a single 14-foot rail that I'm cutting in half because it was quite a bit cheaper than getting two 8-footers. Now, all this garage door hardware, track, everything you're seeing me use today, I think it was $238. 230 something anyway. So it's not a bad price for a 12-foot wide door. So this is a toy I splurged on a couple months ago. So I think it's still going on at Harbor Freight. You buy 2 batteries and you get a free tool of your choice. Well, the batteries are overpriced. They're $140 for 2 batteries. But you buy the 2 batteries, you get this tool for free. And it's not a bad price after it's all said and done. It's actually a very good price. Getting the DeWalt version, it's over $200 just for the tool. Your 2x slips right in there. I don't know what the right way of doing it is, but this is the way I always done it. So I'm just going to keep that with one until we have it square. That one's very twisted. I may have to replace this one twisted one because it's trying to twist my whole door, but I'll see after it's hanging if it'll hang straight. But Yeah, this door is very twisted. This 2x. No. Nah. Thank you though. My phone ran out of storage, so I quit recording. But I had that twisted 2x4 in here, and it twisted my whole door frame like 6 inches. Knocked that out. Didn't have any more 2x, so I put this 1x6 in here. But it's hanging straight now. It won't look as nice as metal, but Jerry had these clean. Jerry's my father-in-law. Had these clear panels here that he said I could use. I'd rather use these because if I enclose this thing fully, I mean, that little gap will help, but I just don't want this to be a dark hole. I'm going to start raising rabbits, and I want this to have plenty of airflow and natural lighting. I will have lights in here, but I don't want to have them running all the time just to keep it from being a dungeon. Well, she's done. I got these cam latches on here. Got one on each side. They're kind of low, but that's all right. And it rolls easily. So then the other thing I've done is, I'm not sure if this bracket here is made for a sliding door, but you can get brackets made for it. I just didn't think I'd need it until I was putting this up, and then I realized it would be nice. So I could just drive a nail through there for a stop, and I've got plenty of track. I should have slid it that way a bit, I guess. So this bracket stops it though, but it also holds it against, so that on nice weather, which might be a lot of the summer, I don't know. Hard to do this one-handed. So that probably most of the summer, I can just leave it latched wide open, and it's solid. And it's solid in place. Because I want to have rabbits in here. You know, when I'm milking here, I want the nice breeze coming through here. I'll probably shut it in bad weather. Because this is facing due west, and most of our weather comes from the southwest. But it's just rock solid in place here. And this holds it really well. I'm just tickled with how that turned out. Then on this end, I did drive a nail in to stop it. And actually I cut it real close. Right where that nail is exactly where I need the door to shut. So doing it this way, I do lose 3-4 inches of opening. But I think it's working out good. See there? Bumped right against that nail. And that's exactly where I need the door. And there is a gap along here, but you know, there's gaps everywhere. I could adjust this tighter. You adjust that where you need it, and then you tighten this bottom nut with a wrench, and it locks it in place. There she is. I don't think it looks too bad with that clear on it. I was afraid it might look pretty rough, but I think it looks good. And this door is one like we use at work. Actually, it's from work that we put into, it's one of the doors that we put into storage buildings. I'm not sure why, but a couple of years ago, there was 2 of these in the dumpster. I'd say a couple of years ago, probably 6-7 years ago. A couple of these were in the dumpster, and they were brand new at that time. They were probably warped or something, or maybe that was, I don't know. Anyway, this one sat up there along the woods with my other junk for all these years, and now I've got a good place to use it. So I obviously still have this back wall left to do, but it needs some dirt work. I mean, we just had so much rain. So once I get that dirt work done, then I'll put a wall across there and have a door there as well. Well, I'm happy with how it's turning out. I know 99% of people wouldn't want something like this attached to their house, but I like it, and that's all that matters, and my wife likes it. So I've got a whole bunch of stuff to clean up. I'm gonna do that, and then tomorrow I'm gonna work on building the stanchion for the cow in there.